there, let's talk about swaddling. I want to go over why we swaddle, how we swaddle, and when it's time to stop swaddling so that we can really get a better understanding of swaddling in general. But one of the things when it comes to why we swaddle is just because our babies are born with so many reflexes all around their face to promote breastfeeding. It's on their cheeks, on their nose. If you tap their cheek, they're going to turn in that direction, and it helps them with latching. So they also have the same thing on their hands. When they breastfeed, they bring their hands up to the breast and they almost knead on it like a kitten. Well, they have a lot of involuntary movements all around their body, especially the hands and the face. So what they do is you can tap your hand inside of their palm and they're going to close their palm on you. It's just a reflex that's happening around their face and hands, but they don't have a lot of control over that. So if you pushed against your baby's arm, they're going to have resistance, and sometimes they'll flail this way, sometimes this way. They just don't really control their arms very much. So when it comes to why we swaddle, it's to help suppress that and give them a moment to just reset, just calm, and they don't have to worry about their arms flailing all around. So one tool for swaddling is just a soothing technique. It's just like using a pacifier. It's just like when you rock your baby or sway your baby. It's just a technique for soothing to help bring them to calm when they've gotten overwhelmed. So moving into how we swaddle a baby, one thing that I always like to go over is making sure that you choose the swaddle blanket that best fits you. I like a lot of the dummies, swaddle blankets, the ones that are just Velcro or zip or anything like that. The downfall for a Velcro swaddle blanket is the fact that it's very noisy. So if you're going to use a Velcro swaddle at, let's say, midnight feed, it's going to most likely wake your baby up because you have to unvelcro it to change their diaper, and they're constantly pooping in those first couple of weeks when it comes to their nighttime feeds. So here is just a traditional swaddle blanket. I always make it into this little triangle, and I place a straight line here at the top. I'm actually going to move to the side so you guys can see me a little bit better. So we have our little triangle. I make a straight line at the top, and with this baby I'm going to make sure arms are down and we have the shoulders lined up with this line. So it's really important that you line their shoulders up with this top line that you've created. We have one arm down, swaddle comes over the body. You can hold it in a tight straight line right here, and then you just tuck it under their body and you have a nice firm hold, only between the shoulder and the elbow. Right here is where it matters most. You don't need it to be tight by their legs. You actually do not want it to be tight by their hips or legs. So just up here by the shoulder, you're going to come down with your other arm and over the body we go. I use this to come up towards the shoulder again, and then I come around, and I have so much extra blanket I can just kind of wrap around and around. I don't tuck this little tail in, I just leave it. You could tuck it in up here and it would stay firm as well, but I definitely do not tuck in their legs or feet. They need to have room to move around down here. So when it comes to how to swaddle a baby, the biggest thing to keep in mind is that it's between their shoulder and their elbow that needs to be the tightest, and you keep their legs and their hips free. And then when we swaddle a baby. So we start with swaddling our babies in the very beginning, let's say birth until about 6 to 8 weeks old, and then they start to grow out of this developmental milestone and want to start moving. They want to start exploring, they want to start mastering their body, so they're going to begin practicing things like rolling over. And when it comes to pulling the swaddle, from birth until about 6 weeks you can swaddle mostly nighttime, a little bit in the daytime, but anything past about 8 weeks old, you really want to reserve all daytime naps for no swaddling. When you do that, you give them the opportunity to practice all of their sleep without the swaddle. So they can do that in the daytime, and then at nighttime, they've already had some practice with it, so it's not so overwhelming when you just cut it cold turkey across the board. So practice your daytime first with no swaddle, and then once they start to roll over, you need to teach them how to roll over with muscle memory, little exercises and practice so that they have the ability at nighttime to move over comfortably, rolling from belly to back when they're ready for that. So you're going to pull it from daytime first, and then you're going to look for signs of readiness that they're starting to want to roll over. And what you'll do is you'll put them on their belly, I'm gonna move this baby this way actually. Let's say we have baby on the belly. I always put the arms up so that they have a good prop. They're gonna use their arms with their strength against the floor. I always keep my babies barefoot so that they can use their toes as a grasp onto the floor for turning. And I'll just turn one leg up. I'm gonna give the best position so my knees bent. I'm giving them leverage from the floor to kick off of, and I keep my hand there when I'm doing this. So I can kick off of my hand, and I make sure that this arm is tucked down because it's in the way. If we leave it up, it's hard to roll over, so it's in the way. So I tuck one arm down, and then I make eye contact with my baby, helping my baby, talking to my baby, wanting them to look up in interest at me and curiosity, and then I help them roll right over. And you practice this over and over again because the muscle memory and your normal curiosity of a baby is going to help them with really mastering that rolling over. So try rolling belly to back, back to belly, over and over again. Don't pick your baby up and roll them. You have to let them do the work. So on the belly, you just give them a prop for their feet. Give them something that's easy to roll over on, but their body is doing the work, giving them that muscle memory. And then when you have all of that established, then you pull the swaddle at nighttime. So I don't actually pull the swaddle at nighttime until my babies are good rollers, not a one-off type of rolling. If they've rolled one time, they don't actually know how to roll yet. They're still learning. It's just a communication to you that it's time to practice. It's time to put some work into rolling. One other tip on swaddling and how it affects nighttime sleep. When they have those first involuntary movements, swaddling suppresses all of that and gives them a deeper rest and repair sleep. But it's important when you do that you don't let them oversleep. So a baby from birth till 8 weeks old should not be sleeping through the night. They shouldn't be sleeping 8-9 hours. We should be stopping them for feeds in between. So make sure that even with a swaddle, you don't let your babies oversleep. And then once you're ready to pull the swaddle, floor time practice in the daytime, and then pull it cold turkey at nighttime once you know that their body is ready for it. It won't affect your nighttime sleep then. So I guess I'm saying all of that to tell you that I don't do one arm out, half in, half out. That's actually more dangerous for a baby who then could get stuck in their swaddle when they're a halfway roller. They're not quite good enough yet, but they're good enough to get stuck. So we don't want that to happen. If you have any more questions on how swaddling affects sleep, or maybe a question from your family on how maybe your baby's fighting swaddling or dislikes or overlikes swaddling, just reach out to me. I'm answering questions over the next couple of days, and I'll just answer directly to your family so that you can get a good answer for your baby. Have a great day.